Welcome back, everyone. It's been a couple weeks, so I do apologize. I have this new obstacle course for you. It does cover kind of basic things like the early ones did, and I've made some improvements to the built-in timer. This one has a built-in timer. It has a built-in progress chart, and let me just get right into it then. So if you're new to the Excel obstacle course, just know that you don't want to save the course when you're exiting, and you don't want to have any other workbook behind it when you open it. And the reason for that is the timer might not work just right. Just remember those two things. And of course, we go left to right in our obstacles. This start page, all you have to do, type in X, hit enter, and the timer started. Where's the timer? It's invisible. But when you get to the end, you put an X right here. Voila, you get your time. Pretty neat. I think it's a vast improvement over keeping it at the beginning to where you have to go back. So that's new. And again, these are pretty basic. We want to delete the yellow in this first obstacle and move the blue to columns G through H. I'll walk through that. In this one, we're deleting the orange, move the green to 16 and 17 right here. Here we're deleting the yellow and moving the red to J2, M5. There. And now we're sorting horizontally in this one. It's kind of a unique thing. This is just a copy down of this crying, laughing faces. Copy right of the same icons. And then it's the end. So let's try to get this one in a decent amount of time. I'm not sure how long it's going to take for me to get it, but you'll see the progress. This is untested. I have not raced this one before. So I don't really, it's been a couple weeks since I've even looked at it. So hopefully you'll get the idea of what it's like to start one of these courses and then improve upon the course and finally end up with a decent time. Remember to download this for free in my website, excelobstaclecourse.com. I got the link in the description for you. And make sure to comment on my video. Tell me what you'd like to see more of. Do you like these videos? What time did you get on this obstacle course? Things like that. So next comes a walkthrough. So like everything, there's no one right way to do this, but we don't use the mouse in these obstacle courses. The whole point, again, is to get more skilled at using the shortcuts, using the keyboard. Makes you a more efficient processor. And if you really want to get crazy with the shortcuts, I've got a whole class on excelobstaclecourse.com. Nothing but shortcuts. Teaches you how to write a formula, jump in and out of the cell. Teaches you all kinds of useful stuff to just make your life easier, right? So if we don't have to toil in the office so much, we use Excel every day, we use Excel almost all day. Let's get the tasks done earlier so we can go enjoy the sunshine, right? Deleting the yellow, moving the blue to G through H right here. I guess what I'll do first is move every other row to the right. So Control plus sign, and then simply hit enter. I'm going to hit the down arrow 2 times and hit F4. Now we're to delete the yellow, which is just that. And we want it over there. Simple, right? So how did I do that last part? Sorry for the uninitiated. Control space bar highlights the entire column. Control minus sign deletes. Control space bar, control minus sign, control space bar, control minus sign. Then we go to the left of this, control space bar, and then hit control plus sign until we get this moved over to G, H. Essentially, we're inserting whole columns right before the blue cells. More the same, we're deleting the orange and moving the green to rows 16 and 17. So I'm going to delete this orange box first, control minus sign, and then down arrow, or you could type a U and hit enter. That takes it up. We're going to use F4 to repeat. Notice that it does the same as control Y. F4 is easier. So this is shift spacebar to highlight an entire row, then control minus sign to delete the row. And then we go to this corner of the green cells, shift spacebar again, control plus sign to add cells behind it. or on top of it, till we get the cells to rows 16 and 17. And the way I'm advancing sheets is holding down Control and tapping page down. Control page up does the opposite, moves back a sheet. So here we're deleting the yellow. This is just going to be a combination of highlighting and deleting. So I'm over here to the left of the box. I'm going to add some cells till I get to J. There we go. And then Shift space bar, Control plus sign to move these down to there, just down one. So that's J2 through M5. Next, we're sorting horizontally. If you're familiar with sorting, Control Shift will warp and highlight at the same time. So it's going to highlight all these cells. If I hold down Shift and do that, of course you can, but best one finger, Control Shift, hit the right arrow. Now what do? Alt DS brings up the sort menu, and then we have no headers, but I want to go to options right here. The O is underlined, so that means I can just type in O. Sometimes you have to hit Alt O for the earlier versions, but for the newer Windows, it's kind of convoluted. I don't want to get into that too much. But for this one, it's just O. And then I want to sort left to right, which I might have to highlight. Might have to use my arrows to go down, or I can type in L. And then hit Enter for OK. And it's still on the options if you see this blue outline. So I have to tab 3, 5. That's too many times. Let's do Shift tab. So hold down Shift and type tab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times. So that's that. But if you notice, it's already on what I want for the next group of cells I want to sort. Again, smallest to largest going left to right. So I could just hit Enter, Alt DS, Enter, Alt DS, Enter. And look, it resembles the picture to the right. That's what I want. And moving forward. Copy down is shown. So to get to the bottom of this, I think I want to arrow down to where I want it to stop. Control Shift up and Control D. Use my arrows to go over there. Do the same here. Control D. There you go. Copy down. This is copy right. I'm going to move it over here. Control Shift left. Control R. Same, navigating with the arrows, getting good at that. And that's what it looks like. And you're at the end. You're at the end, and I didn't start the timer, so I get no time. If you do this out of order, you're going to get a weird thing because it has to be done in order. So as long as you follow this sequence, you get a positive number in there, which is what you want. And here we've got my timer. I've just put some dummy times in there. We're going to erase those, and I'm going to give this one, was it 20? Yeah, 20 shots. So let's do it. Let's do our 20 runs. Type the X, hit Enter, Control page down, Control minus sign, Enter, down arrow F4, Control space bar, Control minus sign, same. Go back here, Control plus sign till we get to G through H. Now Control minus sign, up, F4. And arrows down here, Shift space bar, Control minus sign, same. And we're doing more of what we just did with highlighting whole rows of columns and deleting them and also inserting them. So here we have Alt DS. It's already set for left to right, so I'm going to hit OK. Go down here, Alt DS Enter, Alt DS Enter, Shift and then down arrow, Control D, Control arrow to go to the very bottom, arrows to go there, Control Shift up, Control D, or the same. Next, hold down Shift, right arrow, Control R, jump to the end, go over here, Control R, and we type an X, and we got our minute 26. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and paste it in a note, because what I want to do is undo everything with Control Z. And if I copy before that, it becomes a problem, because then you're not able to paste it. So now, after I've undone everything, I'm going to move the cursors where they need to go. Those are fine. That goes there. That goes there. Okay. So now my times. Let's go back to our notepad. Copy. Copy, paste. And this format's no good, so what I'm going to do instead is right-click, go to Format, F, go to Category, Alt-C, go down to Custom, and then it's capital M, or actually just lowercase mm, colon, SS, dot, 0. And that's the format for all these. So when we get like a minute, 15 seconds, for example, it shows a trend. So let's do this again. $50 seconds, 7 milliseconds, sorry. So I'm going to take that, and you can write it down if you have a paper pen, whatever. I'm just going to put it in an old notepad. One thing I failed to mention is, some of these cells being occupied with data versus not, and I'll explain what I mean. So if I have a cell here, it looks like it's empty, right? It looks like just a yellow cell, but it has an X in it. If you go up to the formula bar, you see the X. Now, how do I make that disappear? If you go to Menu, and then Format Cells, and go to Custom, 3 semicolons in the type field will take care of not showing anything. It'll just mask everything. If you want that, and I think it just makes for a cleaner look. So these are occupied cells. So when I hit Control and arrow, I jump to the bottom of the occupied cells. If there was nothing there, this jump would go all the way down here, and all the way to the bottom. So those are occupied. These have X's in them too. Now, okay, the red have X's, the yellow does not. See? Just an FYI. Obviously, those are occupied, and so are those. So I don't know who needs to know that, but it's there in case you do. Let's go again. 49, we're improving. And I forgot to type in that earlier one, so that's pretty useful to have that there. And if you do that, you have to type a 0:50.7 for it to understand what you're trying to do. What was my time? 49. So I have to take this and paste it over here. And how am I flipping between programs? This is a must know, guys. This is for anything in Windows. Alt-Tab. Release. Get good at doing that. I mean, it saves so much time than using the mouse. All right, so I'm going to undo everything. Go back here. You know what? That might have got rid of my 50.7, but I've got a good short-term memory. I'm going to be able to remember that. Yep, 0:50.7, and then we've got this bad boy here. Put that there. So now we have a nice line graph of our progress. Keep in mind that I was explaining stuff in this one. Can we beat 30 seconds, maybe? You think that's possible? That'd be nice. Nice to show you guys. You witnessed something awesome. All right, so let's go again. $49.80. It's a little stopping point there. I'd love for people to beat my record. Post it in the comments if you beat it. Tell me what you get. Then it gives me something to try to beat. It's fun, right? But really, if you guys can get this under like a minute 15, even a minute and a half, or 2 minutes, whatever's good for you. Because the name of the game is just improving in your Excel shortcuts. So you save time. That's the main thing. I preach that, right? That's like my thing that I preach. All right, let's go again. Wait, cursors. Cursors. Gotta remember those cursors, man. It'll mess you up. It'll be going through the obstacles and it's all goofy. All right, here we go. Oh, there we go. Uncount if I did the instructions wrong. So I had to back that one up. It's going to be a tall order to get under 30. There's no way. I don't want to be negative, but that's a tall order, man. I'm floating at around 50 seconds right now. I might have created, every time I create one of these things, it's like, man, I created a monster. Kind of like the guy who invented, I've probably used this analogy, so forgive me, but the guy invented the Rubik's Cube. It took him, I think, a couple months to figure it out. It's like he has a great puzzle, but until he knew it was solvable, that would be kind of frustrating. I'm sure he's a smarter guy than I was, so he probably knew it was solvable just by common sense or whatever. Okay, so 50 seconds, 8 milliseconds. All right, let's go again. $46, getting better. Pretty satisfying when you get a better time. Who knows, after 20 tries, be jamming here. Comment below, you know, even if it's like, hey man, you could have done this differently. I'm open to it, you know? And, you know, some people get a little bit arrogant about it, right? And they say, why didn't you do this? I would have done it this way. It would have been so much faster. It's fine. Show me. It doesn't take much. Have a friend behind you and videotape, you know, what you're doing. It's fine. I mean, obviously you could do this with like some kind of macro sequence, but that's no fun. I want to see this manual work. I want to see somebody actually doing it. Just, I don't have to see in detail like here, you know, in my thing right there. I just want to see that your hands are on the keyboard, right? And show me. That's all I'm asking. I want to learn too. I'm not perfect. And you know what other thing? I don't really get asked about VBA a whole lot, but I don't use VBA. I'll use Python. You know, it's just part of my data science job, using Python. But for the most part, I like to do things without code in Excel. And I don't think it's a big to-do just to fly through things manually. I mean, what's your guys' opinion? I mean, I really don't know what it looks like for your day-to-day. I do know that people at my old job, they would write macros that would pull from a mainframe, just zip, 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 save them hours because they had to do that stuff manually. And looking back, it's like, there's no excuse for having to even write a macro to do that. They should have something that, they should have developers on that to solve those problems. But in my old job, I think the philosophy was throw people at it. Have 1 million people on typewriters trying to create Shakespeare, you know? It's an old company. Any company that's like 75 to 100 years old is likely running something from the 80s. And, you know, they just need bodies in there to do stuff. I remember my department when I started as a data processor, I was one of like 60 people. And it just got whittled down because they got rid of all the slower people. Or they quit or whatever. It wasn't for them. But I mean, this is how I survived. It was pure survival. This is why I did this. Anyway, let's go again. $44. That's a new record. Good to see improvement. Undo, 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 undo. Yeah, this one's a pain. This one's a pain. Moving them to the correct locations. So yeah, I was mentioning VBA. It's not a VBA timer, guys. This is a manual timer. And it has to do with circular references, which I'm not going to get into in this video. But there's a way to kind of enable circular references. So that's how the timer works. I'll just say that. Let's go again. Keep forgetting to hit that last X. Anyway. So yeah, the origin story for this pretty much is, you know, being a data processor. And, you know, it evolved into like data analysis, like being a data analyst. But there's a manager, Lauren, if you're watching. She said, it's not good enough to be just good or just fast. You have to be fast and good. And that was kind of intimidating when I was starting out. I was like, man, fast and good? How do you do that? How do you not sacrifice accuracy if you're going faster? And the answer was copying and pasting, which I got good at, and then it evolved into using more shortcuts. All right, we're almost halfway through. Well, are we? I don't know. About a third of the way through. A little over a third of the way through. Let's keep going. Get faster. Let's get in the 30s. Escape. $47, floating around that time now. I'm better at undoing things. Cursor reset. All right, time. Going in the wrong direction here. Come on, man. All right, yeah, that's kind of horizontal for us. I don't like that. Time to play hardball. Let's go into beast mode here. Is it going to be faster by saying that? I don't know. Come on, man. Do over. I reset the cursors, right? The cursor's in weird spots there. Whatever, man. Okay, here we go. click C in the timer. Not any better. Hardball didn't work. Now, I will say, without the timer on the screen, the live split, I'm not looking at the timer to see if I'm on pace for something. Just kind of like a flaw that I have. To each their own, whatever. And you know what? I'm going to record my bad time. Why? It's motivation. Let's do better. Here we go. Dang it. Do over. How do you do over at this time? Or at this spot? Just delete the X. That's all you do. You don't even have to type an X. It can be A, any character you want. I get 46. That's not a record, but I wasn't expecting it to be that fast. Okay, 46. Floating around there. I don't know if I could trim 15 seconds off this. Go again. Seconds. The dog barking and everything. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Probably Amazon at the door. Reset the cursors. And then put in my time, which is a new record. Hello. Look at that. Beautiful. So we got 9 more tries here. We're about halfway through. Let's do better. Why not? All right, let's go. Yeah, I don't know if I saved any time by doing that sort thingy. But like I said before, you know, the yellow aren't occupied, the red are. So that leaves the ability to sort. I'm not sold on it. Okay, here we go. 47. Gotta gotta record the good and the bad, man. Let's go again. Oh, 40 seconds. Oh, so let's see if it's clean. I think it's clean, but that's yeah, that's right. That's right. So yep, it's clean. I'm gonna put a new record there. 40 seconds. Let's see if we can break 40. I think that's the goal here. Go again. Five. Oh, I got some slowdowns here. Really noticing. It's gotta go faster. Simple as that. Here we go again. And when I don't reset the cursors, I just go ahead and just hit arrow, because I don't like to have it's set in a position where it's an advantage. All right, so let's reset those cursors, shall we? And I know that slows me down. Let's go again. It's not a bad idea. Ha, 41. I'll take it. I want to break 40 though for you guys. anybody watching at this point in the video. Is anybody watching? Again, comment hi if you're still watching at this point. It'll help me improve my videos, because if this is just not very exciting to watch, I'm going to trim my videos. 41. Let's break 40. All right, again. Hello. $45, not better, worse. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I've done one of these. That's my excuse. Or maybe it's just impossible to go faster. I don't know. Okay. Cursor's in place. Let's go again. Hang it. $44, man, where's the slowdown, guys? Sure, you guys see it. Yeah, I think there's a mess up on that one. Cursors, yep. Exciting. All right, 3 more. Coming in the clutch, you know that. That's going to cost. Maybe it's an off day. I don't know. Again, you guys can do better. I have faith in you. But I've got 2 more tries, so busting 40 could be possible. And I'm the world record holder until proven otherwise. It's a dubious record because I created this, but beat me, I'll give you props. How's that sound? Sound good? Yes, okay, great. All right, 2 more tries. All right, Eye of the Tiger. treading water here, guys. Last run. You didn't see that. Last run. Can I break 40? I'm so close. All right, that's a do-over. $42. Well, I tell you what, I'll give it a bonus try. Let's scooch these on up. That gets 42. Oh, I gotta undo everything first. Okay. So these get moved up. This is 42, and I mean, that looks a little better, right? It's weird how no drastic really moves here. Again, this is a pretty basic course. Last run, guys. Here we go. Do over. That was rough. Yep. I know there's 5 seconds somewhere, but anyway. Shoot. Pay special values. So there we go. Pretty static line. I don't know if there's that much improvement. I'm sure you guys can improve if you practice this 20 times. So let me know what you got. Thanks for watching. Remember to download it at my website, excelobstaclecourse.com. While you're there, buy some templates, buy a class. Have a great day.